Intel Extreme Masters live from ChinaJoy in Shanghai. My goodness, what a showing they put on already this morning thus far. We're creeping into the lunch hours, and well, that was a real treat right there. My name is Trace Aranthis. I'm the host of this desk alongside my analytical crew, and well, we're gonna make some sense of what just happened and how much of a topsy-turvy that game was.
In this business, I think that's what's called a shit show.
It's called a fist fight.
Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good analysis. You could pay for that by going to their. I'm kidding, guys. What the hell just happened?
I don't know. I really don't know. Where do I start? Where do we even start? Right? You lose a 5v0. You don't see that often when you have a kid and a pistol round. That was a big boo-boo from VP. And then it just goes on. It just goes on. You miss basic shots. You fail a Molotov in a bomb set. No one fails. And my Golnova 4 matchmaking cousin of mine, he gets that right. And I'm like, you can't fail that. You can't make that mistake. That's so fundamentally simple. It was almost like VP were fighting themselves. It was like, you know what, we want to make this quick series. We want to go out and see Shanghai. We just give it a quick 2-0. And I'm not saying TyLoo played any much better either, but VP just crapped the bed.
I mean, they missed a lot of opportunities, especially that Molotov you're referring to by Pasha. That's a no-go, basically. I feel overall VP didn't necessarily play too bad. I feel TyLoo had a great game as well, especially somebody in the first half. He was like vital to how he took control over that CT side and constantly putting pressure on them. I think he ended up the first half with 130 ADR on the CT side, so he was having a blast of a game, basically. Overall, it's just one of those games where when you get into sort of like a fist fight scenario where it's back and forth all the time, you can't really find any rhythm. It's like if you refer to like NFL, like a quarterback, you have to have that rhythm as offensively, right? Yeah. You don't have that in Counter-Strike.
You have to control the pace. You have to control the pace.
You have to control the game, and you have to find a rhythm. And neither team did that, and that's why you get into a fist fight where you got to go back and forth all the time.
And that brings me to my next question. You guys talk about fist fights, but have either of you guys been in a fist fight?
Yeah, a couple of times.
I would beat you in one, Trace, right here, right now.
Oh.
I don't think you would do that. It'd be the last thing that you ever did, ever.
I think we should see that.
That's content. All right, now we got Train, and this one went all 42 rounds. My goodness, this was a slobber knocker for all intents and purposes. And, well, I guess is this, I don't know, is it a weak showing from either side, or is it both these teams are on par with each other?
I think it was a very static showing, so to speak. And it's not like, look, I'm sure that they can put up a better performance on another map or something. Right here, it felt like both teams are not really willing to try anything much different as a team. I'll get to what I'm trying to say here. Now, for example, the way TyLoo were playing that outer bomb side was very static. It was like pop dog control has to be taken, has to always be there. There was no other setup. Chat mentioned as well as casting as well. I completely agree with them on that. There was no variation. Same with VP. They had a very static sort of a setup. There was one executor kept trying to do a Neo tosses in the Molotov towards right outside of pop. He actually failed it 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken as well, right? Like, there was not much variation, and the only variation we saw was some players going for individual plays, like somebody pushing in through smokes, doing whatever it does, and then like some couple of huge rounds, like Extrait closing out that final 1v2. It came to a lot of individual plays to make something happen, but as a team, there was no variation. There was no mid-game adaptation, so to speak.
Well, adaptations are the name of the game, especially in Counter-Strike, but right now, we do have the pleasure of speaking with Crusader. Well, Matt Andrews does have the pleasure of speaking Crusade over there on the stage prior to going into the second map. Let's hear what they've got to say.
I have the pleasure of doing it on behalf of all of us, and that is a game that we're not going to forget in a hurry. That was back and forth. VP making mistakes, you seized on them, and you made some mistakes of your own. That was a bit of a mix-up from both teams.
Yeah, it was a tough match, and there were mistakes from both teams, but I'm glad that we pulled it off at the end, and that's what matters. And hopefully we can take the second win as well and just take the whole series.
Individual skill seems to be on point. You're making the incredible shots that we know TyLoo and a lot of Chinese teams can do. It's the teamwork that's letting you down.
The aim is like what we thrive on, and like what we've been working on is our team play. Sometimes we kind of make mistakes, but like hopefully we can like make less mistakes and just play better CS overall.
Is it being here? Is it the pressure of being in Shanghai? Is it the idea you might win the biggest tournament an Asian team has ever done here on your home turf?
Like we don't have that many like tournaments of this scale in China. Like hopefully we'll get more and more like tournaments like this here in China. It's gonna definitely help the scene like in the future. And like the crowd here is amazing, and I just really want to thank the fans here and supporting us, and hopefully they're gonna support more for the remainder of the match.
Might be a cleaner map on the second one. You've taken VPs off of them. We go to Inferno, and that's your pick. You confident now?
Yeah, we're confident. We just need to make less mistakes and play our own game. That's all.
And just quickly, any words you want to say to the crowd who are giving you so much support?
希望大家继续为我们加油，TyLoo加油！
TyLoo against VP live here from IEM Shanghai, where it is loud and it is 1-0 to TyLoo.
That's absolutely correct. And, you know, honestly, it seems like they know they need to work on what they're doing wrong rather than trying to capitalize. Perhaps play their own game. It's a very static answer, I'd say, across the board.
Don't say play your own game, Trace. We don't want to hear.
Excuse me?
We don't want to hear it. I mean, everyone is trying to play their own game, and if everyone played their own game, everyone will win, but there has to be a loser all the time. So this case, it was VP, and I will say, as you were learning to before, you know, you can't fail those Molotovs, you can't fail those smokes, and it's down to the scenario where you think to yourself, have VP been practicing up to this event? And if yes, how are they practicing, you know? But you can't go into a tournament, especially not in a semifinal, not being completely prepared on all you have to do. If you know you're going to use a smoke, one playing train, then you jump into the server before the game and make sure you hit it, right? If you're in doubt. So it's just annoying because you see the potential VP has when they're playing well. The aim is all right now. We saw some missed shots, that's fine. We did for that from TyLoo as well. But if you can hit those smokes, those Molotovs, and just up your play just 1 or 2%, you're going to have a new VP that is actually able to go up against the best in the world. But right now, it's like they don't want to.
I think it's also because everyone knows that they know the Snatch is going to be joining in as well. So this kind of feels like right now, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what they're thinking at the moment. They want to win as well, but could be a lack of motivation because, like, you know what? In a week's time, in a few days' time, we're going to have a new lineup anyway. We're going to have Snatch. You're going to kind of start from scratch all over again. So that could be a reason. No excuses, of course, but still, that could be a reason. TyLoo, though, right? Like, once again, whenever the pressure is on, you notice this game, even though it was, like I mentioned, kind of a crap fest, it was a pretty tight game. And you can see whenever the pressure mounts, TyLoo's comms tend to crumble. And we all know the comms have always been an issue with their team, considering 3 guys speak Chinese, a couple of guys, you know, speak Indonesian and whatnot. So that's always going to be a problem for them. And you can see the comms fail, especially in that one round where I think the bomb is dropped on top. And somebody's like, no one knew what was happening. No one knew where the bomb was dropped. Like small little things which you shouldn't be seeing at this level of Counter-Strike, you do see, and I mean, you hate to see it, but there it is.
You hate to see it, but you also hate to see a PC issue on the tournament floor. VP dealing with that real quickly, and then we're going to be able to get this game underway. So perhaps now we flip the script, talk a little bit about Inferno. I think we've exhausted Train.
Yeah. I
think the Train has left the station, and now they can pretty much, if you're VP, wipe that one off and say, hey, we got to start over again.
I feel Inferno is a map that is, I'm a little bit uncertain about how highly I would rate VP on that map. I feel they have been good on it at some point. I feel they have been up there with the best, and they have the abilities, they have the know-how how to play the map, but they just don't seem to have the strats and the depth in their playbook. We saw it on Train as well. As we said, it was a very static game. There was not too much variation. If you don't have that on Inferno, if you have your first plan A shut down and you don't have a plan B, Inferno's going to be one of those maps that's going to be very hard on you because you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to vary at how you play, and I don't see VP have that in that depth right now. I don't know if as for TyLoo, I think you know a little bit more about that, but in general, I feel like TyLoo is a little bit better prepared for this one than VP.
It could be. That's the thing with TyLoo and Inferno. It kind of sounds weird, but they really like playing that map. You know, they always go for surprise picks on that map, but I don't think they really have it because here's the thing. Inferno as a map, on a CD side especially, it's about pristine communication. It's about getting the timing, you know, like 5-second timing down when it's spaced in the smoke side on the CD side, or, you know, when you throw an incendiary, prevent a play from happening. And when your comms are fundamentally where your in-game leader and your usual top fragger has to translate the comms. Now, if the pace of the round is slow, it's fine. But when it's like 30 seconds remaining and like there's a double fake happening from VP, for example, the comms is just going to get messy. And I think that is something that VP, sure, the CD side might be a little lackluster, at least based on previous performances, but they can try and abuse that in the T side by trying to be a little bit more aggressive, not taking a lot of map control on the T side and pressurizing TyLoo, making the comms crumble. And maybe, that's the thing with VP, right? They've always had this hive mind mentality of kind of clicking in when there's complete chaos all around. And that might actually work out. You know, in chaos, VP might come on top.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the problem for them in that scenario is that VP, and especially Inferno, is one of those maps that if you have the economy on the CT side to shut it down with the grenades, it's going to be tough for you.
It's going to be tough, and that is the name of the game. If you're Virtus.Pro, you got to have that thick skin. You don't want to be taking the 69-day walk, 8,000 kilometers back to Poland empty-handed. You want to take that trophy with you, and we're going into Inferno just like that. Let's go ahead and give it back to the guys who bring you the action. It's Chad and Matthew.
Thank you very much. Yes, we are here, and we are ready for hopefully something a little more normal than last game, Chad?
No, let's keep the Clown Fiesta going. It's entertaining. I like it when we get a little bit of spice. We had some the other night. You and I didn't fare so well, but
I had a shower, and then I had a shower.
It rained a lot yesterday. I got quite wet. All right. CT side for Virtus.Pro on TyLoo's map pick. A lot of utility for Bente and Execute. As I mentioned before, the 2 Indonesian players. I guess that's the way they like to play their their roles. Morel's up close to personal and apartments is going to be greeted with Captain Mo. He's not going to check the corner, so picks one out, gets a kill, and the
That's pretty good.
Stifled, so.
Teammate already found Mo. Mihu, great shot, backs off, DD gone. Pistol rounds have been, in terms of killing, a great success for Virtus.Pro. In terms of defusing bombs, that's another story. Bomb down this time, may not come to that. Bintet in a 1 versus 4.
I actually really like the CT setup that Virtus.Pro went with there. You know, super aggressive towards apps, had a lot of boiler room control as well. And if you hit the shots like that, you're going to shut everything down. And Bintet left in a 1-on-4 is definitely up against it, to say the least. He'll eventually drop to Neo. And we'll be moving swiftly on to round number 2 without the plant. I think we will see the force buy from TyLoo. See if Captain Mo can continue that prowess on the Deagle, which he has in fact purchased. Not as easy to find the long-range duels on Inferno as we saw on Train. Nice shot there. Plucked him out of the air. Easy as that. With the Deagle as well, I don't know how much I like it unless you want to use it maybe to duel against the banana players. And then your area of attack becomes smaller and smaller. They will be sitting far back with the pistols, waiting for anybody to push down middle. CTs tend to do an aggressive SMG approach, but as you can see by the right-hand side of your screen, the weaponry that has been picked up from Virtus.Pro is 3 M4s, a FAMAS, and a UMP, so they're happy to play at range. The rotation has already come in, and they have a heavy stack over towards the A bomb site. Mihu is the first man on the scene if the B rotation has to come in, and that does appear to be where TyLoo want to take this attack. They'll push Neo back. His nade is going to come on in. Chunk down a fair amount of damage, and now TyLoo can establish banana control. And with the 2 smokes and flash that they have, I will be expecting the standard CT and coffins play with 1 flash to hopefully allow enough room to get those pistols up close and personal. Wow, the Deagle from Mo again opens things up.
Neo, though, holding the line down very well. Well, maybe not. Gets 2, bomb picked up. The fact that they've locked out of the B site and now have 2 guns to work with actually makes this a massive problem for Virtus.Pro. Now keep in mind, 3 of the players alive, or I should say the 3 players alive, there's no kit currently in their hands.
And we've already seen the blunders with the defusers come through time and time again for VP, so they are still going to go for this retake, and the smoke on Pasha can cause confusion in the mid-round.
So Bintet has to peek it. Does somebody, Morals getting the kill onto him. Bintet, though, still holding with that Deagle. Problem is he's now got a smoke on the bomb. He's got to be perfect and the reload at the wrong time. They're on it, but Bialy found and Pasha as well, baby. Let's go, Bintet.
That's what we were expecting more from him on map number 1, and Pasha again cannot believe it. These rounds just keep falling away from VP. Absolute gimmies half the time get taken away from them. And look, we discussed it earlier in the tournament. We were giving our top 5 hardest bomb sites to retake. Look at Cuban head in hand. What can you bloody say about that one, mate? This is just blunder after blunder for the Virtus plow. They've opted to upgrade pistols. Haven't done the full investment. So playing for the first gun round they are. Yoda I am. Now TyLoo gone straight into full rifles. No one has an SMG of any kind. We have a Galil, or 2 Galils on the board, and then picked up M4 and 2 AK-47s. They know Neo's in that smoke. They can see the way that the traces from the bullets will be coming on through, using their utility to push him back. VP have opted for the 4-man A stack again and leaving Neo all alone on that B bomb site. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there are 2 players set up for TyLoo to watch the boiler and the holes push, so they know that there's no aggression. They don't need to worry about the flank. This is the basics for Inferno. We're going to see a lot of this. You want to establish banana control. Once you've established banana control, you want to get mid control. Normally on a default of a gun round, you will be seeing boiler and holes taken more aggressively, as the CTs don't tend to play up close and personal in that part of the map when they have the rifles. And it is going to be the A play, so they will be walking into the trap, into the stack, into the waiting arms and pistols of VP.
Smoke out to cover off the arch. Watch for Pasha in the cubby. They do check it this time. Bintet makes no mistake. It's like the pistol, they don't get caught off guard by anyone waiting, as it was the case toward the apartments. Bumping back up. Morals has made this interesting. Bintet down. This is a 1-on-1. Inside of the site, Morals. Oh, every single round, it seems, is going to be exciting. Now, these games are great to watch, excellent for the crowd. It's awesome that we're doing this in front of a Chinese crowd for a change, but it's not exactly what you want to be playing through.
How did he grab 3 kills? We didn't catch any of them, but in the bomb site with the CZ75, able to get so much work done. Here we go, we might catch it on the replay here. Here he is. Pokes his head out, 1, not even looking at him, that's 2. And the third is a lovely shot, left in a one-on-one situation. I don't think he was even expecting it to end up that way. Will be pistol upgrades once again for VP, so keeping it modest. They're going to have all the goodies when we do get to that first gun round. AWPs, smokes, Molotovs, flashes, all the goodies to hold off the early T aggression. 2 nades and 2 huge amounts of damage.
Pasha looking to try and spot down all middle. DD does have the AK waiting on the bridge. Patient play to see if anyone can spot it. Banana, the name of the game. Set, back turn goes through. All time. Rolls was taken down. But Mihu, oh my God! What a turnaround! Sitting by the barrels, they had no idea a second player was there. And the full setup, the stack it to Banana has paid off because he gets away with the AK kill as well. Pasha's going to put down somebody. This round's gone. TD's got to pull back at 1 versus 4. HP is as such that he might in the most wild situation be able to. The biggest problem with it is the bomb still at top Banana.
Not only that, the longer he takes to find Pasha's position, the less time he has to work with. Lucky he's able to grab that kill quickly. I think he can do this, Matt. They're all playing the bomb, and even though they do have 2 AKs, they don't look like they're well organized here. Leaving Bialy out in aggressive position. Mihu is there to trade, and now Neo throwing a flash, but scampering back quickly to his teammates. They've identified his position. There's 25 seconds left on the clock. He has to get going.
DD grabs bomb.
He's got time. Oh, he had time.
Doesn't now. He's got to commit to B, but it gets Bialy down because he knew he was baiting him out, trying to get him on the chase. He likely would have had to get into a confrontation either way. There's a crossfire set easy that they're going to peek out. I was questioning if they were going to before he got past the water position, but 2-2. Good comeback from Virtus.Pro, Mihu especially.
That was huge. The fact that they weren't expecting another player hiding in that smoke. Think about that, Matt. This round started with him getting, like, you know, he's just sitting there with a P250. We're not talking about the greatest gun in the game here. We're not talking about the CZ75. We're talking about the P250. That's all he had to work with. A smoke that he's hiding in and a P250, and he gets that much madness done. Now, TyLoo, because of how many guns they did lose in the previous, are unable to get a decent buy going. They have forced. Scout's an interesting choice by Xcurate. The CTs really have to offer themselves up, and once they identify the fact that you have the Scout, they can now play much closer quarters and corridors where they won't get tagged on up. But they do have the boiler and halls control established. Banana has been given to them for free. These 2 players from VP are all the way back in the bomb site, so if they want to set up an A attack, they have a free avenue of Archway as well. So a lot of real estate given to TyLoo here. This is the worst place to go. This is straight into the blender. You hate to see this. Quad is one of the most deadly places for crossfires.
It's not a bad attempt to do it, though, by getting the high side a different angle. The problem is it didn't yield anything. Pasha spraying in. Doesn't get a kill until just now on Captain Mo, but they still will get there, and Bialy taking out Xcurate. Leaves a 1 versus 3 for somebody. They don't know that he's this close. They'll hear him walking up the wall. Pasha's gone, though, so no one to repeat. Oh, from Graveyard. That got awkward.
He was so
Chance
steady.
to reset his aim as well, yeah.
Yeah, so steady with the aim there. When you're in a firefight like that, most players will panic. Most players will just hold the trigger down and hope for the best. I think the lack of ammo left in that gun made him reconsider that as the option. And now they have to concede some ground. They have to take a big step backwards. And we see TyLoo on an eco. Now they are opting for 1 P250 and 1 CZ. No flashes which they can explode off of. This is the aggressive anti-eco that I brought up earlier coming out from VP. This is a great way to punish, farm some cash, and build confidence as well. We've seen this in a lot of iterations of Counter-Strike. This map, and especially how potent SMGs can be, mean that the CTs are more than happy to collapse on the weaker pistols and the lack of armor that TyLoo are offering up, and feast on their corpses. Cannibalism is bad. You know you shouldn't eat a human.
Lord of the Flies, though, in that case, it was necessary.
Yeah. I think if you eat like a... No, we won't get into that, eating humans' brains. We're not zombies.
Yeah, are you talking about like Hannibal Lecter when he feeds the...
No. I was just reading or listening to something where they like if you eat like human brains as a human, it like makes you go insane or something. Like it's real bad.
I'll give it a try. I'll report back to you.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Okay, yeah. I think there's some precondition there that applies. You can only go so far on the scale, and you're already pretty close.
Yeah.
So.
All right, gun round now. It was a very slow approach from TyLoo's T-half on the first map. They were happy to just wait out utility. If VP know that is going to be a factor, they can hold on to theirs for as long as they possibly want and need. But no, it won't be. It'll be relatively aggressive play by TyLoo towards Banana, using their utility to grab that part of the map early. Grenades will be exchanged, and Bentet's going to find himself bleeding internally. 12 points of health remain. Not enough to push him back, not enough to scare him off, and Neo wants to continue to fight for this. Will miss his smoke and probably won't realize as he rounds the corner. Opting for the smart decision of dropping back towards the B side. So they did come out the better of that exchange, but they won't know it. I'm really liking these CT setups from VP though. Pistol round, and now they're playing together on this quad side. Able to play and trade off of each other very easily when you do holds like this. You can't be isolated. And they're putting Pasha as the front man with the MP9, getting him as up close and personal as possible. Okay, so this is very important. How close Pasha is to mid, and morale's up on the boost. They have so much information that mid control hasn't been taken. They're not overly worried about boiler and halls because there's no noise. And at this point, they should be starting to think something's up. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Pasha should push for info now, and they can cheat their rotation over towards B.
Mihu and Neo. Shot down, and they read the fact that that boost very likely and trade off of it. He tries to spray back from the coffins. It's out toward the banana position. That it's actually a problem. The fast flank, you called it. Pasha already toward the top of middle. Quick on the case, but the MP9 finds two, leaving us with Excurate and Captain Mo with a bomb down, and not the best of positions considering they've already lost banana. Not much room to wiggle. If they lose either side of it, they're done. Exactly that. Excurate goes down. Captain Mo cannot move from that emo position. And it's now Virtus.Pro finding their 5th round. This is TyLoo's map.
Yes.
Virtus.Pro had every right to win the last map as well. There's still a chance they could win this series if they just do, well, or don't do, rather. So many mistakes.
Yeah, that first map, they definitely could have won. If they, you think about, you take all those blunders out of the equation from them, and it was their map. But I try not to live in a world of ifs and buts.
I like to live in a world of buts. I
always love looking at a good posterior. I don't know where I was going with that.
I knew where you were going with it.
I wanted to say
you just didn't know how to get there.
Okay, so something exciting's happening.
Pokemon Go. That would be cool if they had that like ramped up around this venue right now.
Catch me a Charizard.
There's a lot of League of Legends here, a lot of Overwatch. We were in a store the other day near People's Square that just was all little gaming, like keychains and whatnot.
Okay.
Every game except for Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Morals. Yeah. Morals this time has the same position we mentioned before, the different angle toward quad, but it's the CT side that has it and can see, well, the smoke. Good for one, as long as he has backup. Pasha doesn't peek. Somebody jumps out behind and gets away from Pasha. That costs his teammate dearly, and suddenly there's a problem. The pistols are gaining ground, and Bialy's stuck inside of the pit. Dini's going to overwhelm him with the gun picked up from the man I mentioned, Pasha, that was at the graveyard. This just fell apart on what was supposed to be a good setup. Now it's even so chaotic that Neo's confused and firing at his teammate. What a catastrophe. Still a chance. I'll give them that they can pull it back. Kit for Mihu. The one down inside of the site. Dini with the gun can't pass it off to any of his teammates, despite that he's only on 26 HP. He could have gone to Excurate, excuse me, a little bit sooner, but doesn't elect to do so when the opportunity is passed. They still make good on it. The M4 with both.
That crossfire that they had set up in pit there is very, very, very potent. I think if you're able to get set up in those positions and you play off of each other, you pick together, you should always be winning that scenario. The only way that you can get flustered is if utility comes into play, but lucky for them, VP didn't have any in the back pocket to use. And TyLoo will grab back around. Been daylight robbery in a few of these, and I think that might be seen as another one. Miscommunication is how that round unraveled. And from the side of the Poles, nonetheless, we do know that over on the TyLoo side of things, it can be a little bit different and difficult because we have 2 Indonesians with 3 Chinese, and nobody speaks the other's language very well. So there's a mixture of English, Indonesian, and Mandarin going on within the squad, so it can be difficult to keep on top of from time to time.
So bizarre to me. Must be so difficult. Ooh. And it is a big nade. Good nade indeed. It is a sport, we'll say, why not? That is heavily dependent on communication, less so than some team sports. I'll give the example of hockey, where it is just yelling, 1 or 2 words of information, and then it's all about reading and reacting, and you can see everything in front of you. It's a very different situation.
I think you meant to call it a new sport, Matt?
Yes, sure.
New sport.
I just forgot the N and the W conveniently. Spray down the hallway at the apartments. Flames still at their feet, but they will extinguish, and Bialy goes back out for it, flashed in by his teammate. Nade at the ready, just in case they do try to overwhelm him. Pasha, smoke now gone on the arch side, can peek out just as they get toward the mid-wall, and he'll do exactly that. Doesn't have to overcommit to it either. He's just hoping that one more would strangle up from the top side of mid. Exactly that, gets away. Free kill.
This round is still very possible with how isolated the rotations could be for VP. If they're able to pull Neo back towards A, Mihu has to stand and deliver from the back of the site. Now, you can see how gingerly Neo is towards CT spawn. He wants to get on out of there and bolster the defenses over towards A, but it will be the B hit. Smokes, Molotovs will rain on over.
Good shot back from Neo. Realizing they've gone underneath in the smoke. Leaves Mihu in the back of the site as well. They get to detect him. His timing slightly off. Wants Mihu as he gets into orange as one. Oh. Misses the shot. And as they pop back out, it's still going to be Neo that gets the advantage, but Excurate, despite now being in a 1 versus 3 from what was 4, gets the first shot. Morals gives himself up, hoping perhaps he could find him. There's no time for the win. If he waited, they might have been able to get him down after the time, though, and get the money and gun gone together.
He did very well to hold on to that AWP in that situation. I think VP didn't want to give away too much of their own weaponry because they do have to drop now to make ends meet. But that play by DD, and this is noticed, and the devs can probably touch on it more when they get to their segment, those kind of plays happen very rarely. And if you're a team who is known for doing them all the time, you're going to be on the lookout for it, right? So you don't want your game to be based off of someone making a risky play to win a round. What you would prefer is to fundamentally have just taken the site, traded off of each other, got the bomb down, and then played a good post plan. He's gone, I'm going to take a huge risk here. I'm going to push the smoke. If this works, we win. If it doesn't, we lose. And lose they did.
Just to note, the stat that was on the screen is not a bad one for Excurate. 64% of his frags in this event have been with the AWP. That suggests that TyLoo's also had good economy throughout and been usually in the upper hand. 14 per game is the average. Also not bad. Yeah, he waits at the graveyard stairs. Pasha flashing back in, hoping to get the peek in time, but they're all blind. Morals goes first and steps wide of the wall, leaving himself very open. And Bialy only able to pick up one in return. The trade still favorable by Pasha, but watch out for Bintet. Arch side. Fortunately, no one close. Captain Mo does still manage one. Phrasing gets another. Now Bintet gets closer. Fortunately, Neo's still inside of Library, but unfortunately, he's down to 17. No better off as Mo with 28, excuse me, but the AWP. 41 seconds, he can absolutely afford to fake the plant. Neo knows he can and will not commit to peeking. 4 kills for Captain Mo. This would be an ace. As he came out late from that quad side, and he had every right to get the ace, but misses the shot, and Neo will take the round for Virtus.Pro.
Through the legs there, getting very inquisitive with the AWP. Making the right play. If he was sitting back on low HP, especially with maybe an AK-47 in hand, Neo would have been taking that duel day in, day out, but Captain Mo with a huge round, unable to convert to get them their 4th on the board. We are now looking at 7 rounds for VP, 3 for TyLoo. But, mate, it's getting messy in these scrappy situations. That's a great couple of kills there from Captain No. Tactical purchase is the man in question will have an AK once more. A couple of pistols on the rest of the squad.
Spin that shit. Scratch bested. He's like the only Scratch DJ I still know. So
I was never really into that type of music.
Neither was I. He's just from my hometown, so he's the only one that I know.
Okay.
Neo down toward Banana. He'll try and take control. Mihu's already going to back off, rotate off of it as well, by the way. So 2-2-1 if you want. 4 on A, 2 pit, apartments, 2 arch. Neo with all the information elsewhere.
They do have mid-wall control, but they don't have Banana. That's mean we can have 4 players over towards the A bomb site. And the 2 arch members are going to be able to clean on up as Pasha continues to repick with the AWP. But kills will come out, and now that means another gun can be picked up for Extra. It doesn't matter. No, a little bit too hungry for frags. He'll go down, not going to give his teammate a chance to scuttle on around and pick up one of those dropped weapons. So another round on the board for VP, sitting on 8. Well, they have a very nice lead, but wind your memory back about an hour. Similar scenes, and then VP succumbed? Which one is it? Succumbed?
He succumbed to his injuries.
Yeah,
but
it sounds weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a weird one. I think it's succumbed. He has succumbed. VP succumbed.
Either way, TyLoo had a nice comeback in the first half of the first map. Right now, 3 Molotovs have been dispersed. They know that 3 players are over on that part of the map, and the reaction normally isn't to keep the jewel, it's to go up mid and take that territory instead, because you know it's a weaker bomb site. But the 1-for-1 trade does favor the offense, and that means that TyLoo are able to regroup with 1 minute and 20 left on the clock. That's a heap of time. And they didn't really take too much damage, so that's a nice thing as well. Actually, no damage. Just to explain that a little more, because they are in quite a slow round right now. When you see 3 Molotovs Banana, you know the 3 players are B. So a normal protocol or reaction that you might have in the bank is to just quickly pop flash your 2 players from second mid up middle. Now, Pasha and Bialy were on either side of mid, which means you could isolate Jules in that regard, take over the territory, and then force that B rotation, take Banana later. But they opted to fight for Banana control, which they were successful in. And now look at this over-rotation. Pasha, Mihu, and Bialy have all left the site. Quad is completely open.
Unreal.
It's a 4-man rotation on the B bomb site. 1 smoke, and they've absolutely booked them. 25 seconds left on the clock, and retaking this now becomes a gargantuan task for
This
VP.
is like complexity. Berry games. Send them packing for no reason. Not even leave one. Not even for consideration. Yeah, it's safe. I mean, they have to. No choice. They gambled on it. Fair enough. They'll keep guns up. Also, merit in that, but it's going to go 8-4.
That's a freebie. Everybody loves free things in life, but
yes, I do.
I don't want to be giving away a free round in a semi-final of IEM Shanghai. Interesting call. I agree with you in the sentiment, Matt, that normally you would leave 1 player, and you would leave the player in the pit, in the castle, in the site, so that when they did hit, all his job is basically to stop the plant, which would give the teammates a big enough chance to rotate. Because even if 4 guys are coming up the quad side, any 3 of those positions, which I've just highlighted, is enough to get at least 1 kill and delay so your teammates can rotate. Interesting choice from VP. I question what they were thinking, and maybe the pause for TyLoo, who maybe they think they've just been gifted some kind of miracle.
Well, they certainly had a few miracles last game. That one, not quite the same, I guess, magnitude of instance, but it still is Virtus.Pro giving a round away that's at least going to keep them guns by keeping 4 players up. Now, this timeout is absolutely warranted because we find ourselves in a situation in which both teams are breakable.
I think we did see a lot more strain on the economy in the second half of the first map. It felt like nobody could ever build a bank. This time round, VP was trucking along very nicely. Sure, there was a few chaotic rounds. Mo almost had that Ace keeping them honest on the bank, but it felt like VP were in charge. Now that's quickly been dwindled. They are doing the 3-man banana control again, and once again, TyLoo are not opting to go for a faster A play. Look how isolated Pasha is towards the top mid. It's just a player waiting to get taken advantage of.
Captain Mo moving up. Nade mistimed in the open. They knew Big Tent was also there. They knew Big Tent was also there, and somehow he gets away with it. Support from Excurate, but Pasha wants to try and strike back as he gets down mid. Gets only one, even with Bintet low, because they were separated by virtue of falling inside of the trench. Mihu's going to do the same on the other side. It's a bit of a seesaw.
Piali did really well there to lay middle with his smoke and nades, but they know that means that the one player over towards A is towards Arch. So they funneled out holes, they've gotten through. They're in the pit, they've got control, but this quick flank from Mihu could be absolutely everything. If he gets the timing, which he does, he pushes out, grabs kill in the Molotov. That's enough to allow Bialy a chance in the round.
DD at the wall, looks toward the doorway, Mihu. Holds off to go back out. Peaks finds Bialy. They had to get the information, had to be looking that direction, but the problem is somebody's left in the open with no information, nowhere else to look as to when they would peak together. And it's now 8-9. Sorry, 8 becoming 9 for Virtus.Pro, not to be confused. It's 9-4.
Such an interesting decision there by Bialy not to capitalize when his teammate caused a distraction. I suppose they just want to play it safe, but it feels like they're playing very, very, very scared. All right, well, TyLoo are going to be able to scrap together a buy. I guess that plant helped boost the economy enough that they can get the AKs up. DD is the only one that has to make a concession on the CZ75, but one of the best rounds that TyLoo had was with pistols. We don't want to write them out of any situation. Pasha on the AWP, spots down towards middle. Doesn't see a whole lot.
I mean, he's still so brutal.
This is not the normal TyLoo, Matt. You know, they're a team, to me anyway, who have such playmaking ability on members like Somebody, DD, obviously Bentet. We can see what he can do. Extra hasn't really been out of it. We know it's hard to use the AWP on the two-side of Inferno, so we're not going to be looking too much on him right now. But, okay, so they won that round over towards B with Deagles. Then VP took 2 ecos, winning the second. TyLoo did a 4-spy round where they split onto A. They won that round. So 2 of the most important rounds they've won have been with pistols, and 1 was against pistols. So far, their gun round approach has been very poor. Whatever their plan is, it's not working out.
Marl's timing is everything. Fortunate for DD that the bomb actually flew directly into a teammate's hands and not was left in the open. Without a man. It is the man who had the pistol as well. The gun would have been recoverable. They'll go back toward Banana. No one anchoring it this time. So interesting positional choices from both Pasha and Mihu. They're basically at the ready. They're on call. And the call should be from Neo any second toward B, because that's where Bintet arrives, and arrives convincingly. Walks in, and Neo's head removed. Pasha wants to fire into the smoke. Looks like he might have even got the corner angle, but he goes down instead. Mihu back out. Excurate, great kill. That might in itself define the round, because Mihu going down, the bomb ends up being planted and not denied. And now a man advantage in the post plant. Moral's working out from Banana, already throwing a flash. They'll have heard that. They'll know that he's in that direction. And look there as well as Mo swings out. No one else has spotted the fact that Bialy's also in Bialy as he works out. But unfortunately, it's a 1 versus 2 in time too far gone. We now go 9-5.
I see what you did there.
Thanks, man. That one's been so obvious for so long, and yet there's really very little chances to apply it, because often he's never really in Bialy.
Yeah, that's what happens when he's the pit player, I suppose. Bomb will go off. 5th round on the board for TyLoo. Somebody able to get an AWP, which will now get thrown across when the round ticks on over to Excurate. Trading their guns. And VP have to buy. It is the last round of the first half of the second map of day number 4 of IEM Shanghai 2018. The guns that they've been able to scrap together for this one is an MP9, a CZ75, Scout, UMP, and an AK-47. An absolute menagerie of a buy. And going quickly up banana is Mr. Bentet, pushing Neo back. That's some very, very early territory to take.
So Mo holds and waits. Patience is everything for Virtus.Pro. This buy is not amazing. They're met with equal patience on the TyLoo side, inside of mid.
This is the type of round that TyLoo should be able to put in the bag relatively easily if they play it fundamentally, using their utility, taking territory, flushing out of close corners, but up mid they come, flashing themselves, and that's where Pasha's position in the corner can really reap rewards. The MP9 used close is where it always finds the most success. And now over to B they have to go, as Neo with a scout headshot there is going to completely destroy Bentet.
That's sick. I mean, this round, absolutely, TyLoo had every right to win this at the start of it, and look how quickly it's fallen apart. They never got anything done. Never even got any map control. AK picked up Morals. Mihu's going to grab one of his own. This one goes 10-5 all day for Virtus.Pro.
It's a good half. It is a good first half to grab 10 rounds on the CT side when it sort of looked like a misery of a 9-6.
The way you said that, bloody good half, mate. That's a good half.
Yeah, mate. Good on ya. As Mihu from above. Mihu, sorry, I keep forgetting. Getting the name incorrect, but yeah, decent half, all things considered.
Well, with that, there is lots to consider because Virtus.Pro has a 5-round lead and could therefore close out this map to force a third. We'll take a break and be right back. Well, as we say, it's Virtus.Pro with a 5-round lead, but they swap over to the T side. All pistol rounds in terms of kills have been absolutely incredible for Virtus.Pro. In fact, they won one round with 5 players left and then lost it.
Gave it away.
So it is 2-1 in pistols overall, but aside from the obvious, rather catastrophic mistake, it does point to the fact that Virtus.Pro could take this one.
And Pasha is continuing his good form, leading the scoreboard 16 kills.
He's been good this event.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him.
He's definitely been performing. Now it is going to be a 4-1 split for the CT side. Bentet, the only player over towards B, getting information on top of Banana. 2 players over in Trash. It's a bit of a trap being set up there on the Arch side by TyLoo, and a very slow approach again. Both of these teams on their T sides, they've had rounds of explosiveness, but it's always been tentative. It's always been cautious at best to start things off. Bentet will spot out Neo. He will drop back with that information. And it looks like they're opting for what would be a B-site retake, as Bentet is not playing in the bomb site. If it was in the site, normally the cavalry would come and back him up. But playing there, it means that they're happy to give up the site in case it is a B execute. The smoke will land on over, and this arch play is going to be huge.
Execute still holding. Looking solid again. The kills and pistols have been overwhelmingly in favor of Virtus.Pro throughout this series, so all signs pointed to success. But the man who's been oftentimes very good with a pistol himself is Captain Mo. The Eagles, now UASP. He gets 3 and gives them a massive chance, but it is Bentet, highly rated in his own right, that has to go back into the site against 2, and Neo holds the line at 11-5 in favor of VP.
Mo had absolutely no business hitting those shots. Pressure from all sides, steps up huge, and almost gives Bentet a chance to get back into the rounds. Neo finishing things off, and once again, Matt, as you've highlighted, you win in the pistols, you should be winning the game. So at this point, VP have a good chance to put themselves up to 13 rounds. We will see just the pistol. Oh, as I say it, the late buy comes in. It will be pistol upgrades with armor to force buy. Everything TyLoo have invested, so they're feeling this is do or die territory right now. Unless they're able to find some magic here, that first gun round of theirs is going to be very underwhelming. And VP, all they need to do is grab this one, and that should be the game. That should really put them in an economical position where all they need to do is close out the easy rounds. They're not taking any chances, though. They want to do a bit of a set piece over towards A. Want to put pressure on the arch side. Always a good idea. Eventually, Neo finds the kill. Did allow Mo to take a couple of re-peeks. Almost strike his head off.
Neo nearly takes his teammate's head off, but it's all fine and dandy. Somebody does get Pasha. Still not easily achieved here. This still has to be taken cautiously. 30 and 31 for Neo and Mihu, respectively. Somebody still swinging in with 47 now. Dead. Mihu gets him. That should secure it. I think Bentet will give it a go with the CZ. Why not? Has a kit. Gets a headshot to the back lines. If it was Morals he could find first, would have had a chance, but now we're 12-5. And 10-5 half winning pistol, getting to 13. Oh, look, they're going to have to work hard not to win this game.
We've seen them do that already, so let's hope we don't have a repeat. Have you ever considered doing a Gautier line with somebody?
No.
Maybe you could work one of them in.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't. I think I just tuned that song out of my existence. Not that it was a bad song, it's just that it was very, very overplayed.
And it makes me sad.
Some truth to it, isn't there?
Yeah. Bloody women.
I'm going to save that for later so that it doesn't seem obvious I injected it now that you've said it, and it'll seem more clever at the time when I do, all right? Okay. We're gonna back pocket that one for a bit. I appreciate the tip.
My wit's not quick enough to work one out, so.
I mean, the obvious one is if he gets killed, it would be he's somebody that they used to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Neo's down. Bentet behind statue. They didn't even see him. He didn't even know where he was being shot from. You could see him looking around rather perplexed. It's a 3-on-2. Again, TyLoo keeping the economy very honest. That's going to be their best chance back into this game to create what will be the potential for a comeback. All, meanwhile, has not committed to the site and, quite frankly, does not have to. It could easily rotate back the other direction. Who's spotting Captain Mo, though. They're not worried about bomb plants. They want kills. They'll get them 13-5.
Yeah, good patience by VP. I think as soon as they would have gotten to the bomb site and tapped the bomb, TyLoo would have tried to strike at that point anyway, but they knew that they had to either play for information.
I want a teddy bear with my name on it.
That's cute. It's like a keyring one as well. Neo has won 3 out of 3 opening duels he's attempted and has had 5 rounds where he's multi-fragged. You know what should be even more poignant of that? Not poignant, we know that's a bad word. What should maybe be looked at as well is the round conversion from that.
Yes, yeah.
So if he's won the opening duel, have they converted the round? Because that is a very interesting way to look at it as well. So opening kill will go to Excurate, who is Glass Cannon with the AWP. They also have banana control, as you can see somebody pushing down and doing what he does best, being aggressive, wanting to be in a position to disrupt the VP offense.
Morals. Need for the BMW. He'll sit with smoke still down, not commit. They weren't really confident in what they'd spotted when he got there, given there was still so much smoke and lack of positioning. And moreover, they're still a man down on this situation to TyLoo.
It's interesting somebody's no longer playing for information. Normally you'd like try and jiggle pick a corner, but the way that he's played this, he's kind of put himself in a rock and a hard place. He's got a flash, which means if the attack comes in, he can throw it and peek, and he has finally got a rotator over, but it is a contact play from VP, wanting to sneak in as close as possible now the utility is used. There's one player still all the way back in alt mid, but that's exactly what I was talking about. Somebody with 2 huge UMP kills. It's going to leave a lot of pressure on Neo, who's very brazen, leaving his back open to CD spawn. The position he has is unknown. Well, no, as I say that, it's well and truly known. Good night, Sweet Prince.
Bialy gets snapped on down. Pretty sick from Excurate.
Huge round.
Again, that stat, 64% of his kills, I should say, excuse me, with the AWP in this event. I would expect that number to increase over the next few rounds. And already Virtus.Pro, again, keeping them honest as they did in the 2 anti-eco, or rather eco rounds from their perspective. Here we are, back to just an AK. So they'll go with what they can. They did get out a decent amount of utility on the VP side, which is curious. Smoke down deep, Intent approaches.
Just to continue on that thread that you were talking about with Excurate, he has 8 kills, 3 of which just came in that round with the AWP. On the T side, it is very difficult to use, so if he wants to have impact, it has to be here on the CT side.
Yeah, the percentage alone doesn't... There we go. There it is.
Look at it.
More. It's so perfect. Somebody gets them walking toward the arch. He's still there as well. The percentage itself isn't necessarily a convincing statistic because 64% of how many kills, right?
Exactly.
Let's say if he only had 5 kills, it would be like, all right, well... That's not very many, but it's also, you got to remember, he's averaging 14 a game on the AWP, so you combine both of those, and it's not like the counter argument where it's saying, well, he's actually just useless with other weapons. He's just really good with the AWP.
Yeah, and if you have a player who's really good with the AWP, get that economy rolling and get it in his hands. Let's not have a Kenny S happy situation happening.
Oh man, honestly, that was some of the most triggering games when that happened.
Nightmares.
It was hard to watch, stuff, really.
Yeah. All right, VP get the AKs out, but they don't have enough utility to really fight hard for banana control, so they'll put the majority of their forces through alt middle. Pasha and Neo will be caretakers of banana while the CTs aggress and use their smoke early. Somebody does take a big chunk of damage as he wants to mosey on down. But on the other side of things, Morals. Oh, wow. Mo, what are you doing? You're going to give you... Wow, okay.
No counter peek. That's Bialy again. The same thing as what he did on train up toward Ivy, which weirdly worked in his favor that time. Bialy looks like he doesn't have much confidence.
I think, so if he swung out then, he would have gone down to that setup. So potentially it's a tendency of a setup, but still, I would have swung. As soon as someone that close range has the balls to spam like that in halls, I would have done something. I would have shot back. I would have given him a reason to want to get out of there. They got mid control again. And the AWP is swinging over to B, so Extra wants to keep moving around with that AWP, something I really admire, especially on a map like Inferno.
I agree that the setup is there, but the fact that it was so close means that he has to run down the hall, which means it's an easy lineup. If he's at the very back corner and there's a second player, it becomes more difficult. Neither here nor that was Neo. What? Where was I going with that one? Neo gets around toward Arch. Excurate gets back onto Highway, catches out Mihu, but the fact that Neo got that kill means he has access to go beyond the library. And DD waits in the site. He'll be completely surrounded. Bintek goes down. Banana, he'll rotate in from the top side of middle. So if they don't hurry up and they're still toward quad, he could be a factor. And he is on his horse. He might get there. Pasha's going to be the open. Bomb's going to be caught just now by Bintek. And now Neo, who's been sitting in front library the whole time holding off rotations, realizes he's got a problem. He's between two players on the TyLoo side. They pull back the round.
Yeah, that one could have got really messy. I was questioning why Bentet was taking such a long time to push, because we knew where Xcurate was. He was able to swing to B. I know that the mid to B was cracked open by Neo, but they had pressure applied to the pit and the side players. Just curious that he didn't take that information from his teammates and run with it. VP have to eco now, and Matt, we painted the picture that VP should be able to close this one out very easily from a 10-5 first half, grabbing pistol on the second, converting with relative ease. And then they went up against a gun round of TyLoo in the first of many, which was definitely hampered by the economy. But Xcurate with the AWP showing a lot of prowess there. So we do have a few pistols, a little bit of utility in the hands of the Virtus.Pro sides. Let's see what kind of wizardry they're going to try and pull off with this one. So they want to go fast banana and take the fight. Nades will be exchanged, and the CT should have a very easy cleanup here.
Somebody with the nades combines with Bintet. Somebody then burns Neo. And look at the HP. I mean, this is the thing, right? Virtus.Pro's economy got broken so early. They were already on 13. We said they'd have to work hard to lose the game. This is exactly how TyLoo had to approach it. Take advantage of every single gun round that you can. Take advantage of every anti-eco situation that you can. Build this bank up and do not let Virtus.Pro do the same. Even if at this point in time, they come into a round where they're going to save, where they're going to concede the fact that they're about to lose a round, get all the kills. Go hunting, because they now have a round in hand, and you need to keep Virtus.Pro on break every single chance you get. Don't leave them with 4 players alive at any point.
Yeah, exactly that. Much pressure applied as humanly possible, because TyLoo here in front of the home crowd, they want to get to the grand final. They want to have a chance of winning an event on home soil, and historically in Counter-Strike, in China, the Asian teams would tend to flourish, so this could be an opportunity to continue that story. Banana aggression with 3 as Bentet puts fire down range. Big nade from Pasha there, gonna hit all 3 players, but just a sprinkle of damage. VP have been given mid a lot. They've been able to get the mid wall quite convincingly. It's just after that that they seem to run into a hard time. And normally the way you want to play this is have both banana and mid control, and from there you can isolate players. Right now they only have one of the 2.
Somebody waiting at the wall. Smoke down, swings it. Neo gets the trade, but it comes at a great price because he's down to 22. Bintet only with 1. Pasha responds. Didn't think he was going to get away with that. It looked like Bintet had a better chance. That was accurate. DD was absolutely on the receiving end of those bullets, but nowhere to go for Mo. Gets behind it. Thankfully, a smoke still down. Bomb is in the site. 2 players still in pit. This is not safety for Virtus.Pro. It's almost desperation. Pasha's got an idea where they are, but Mo finds the angle. Now DD can swing, but he's found. They have to give up the hallway at apartments. There's no way back toward the pit with 2 players there, and Bialy in doing so gets himself in a prime position toward the doorway. That saves the round.
You're right, man. That position that they were in the bomb site, it's never a safe one when there's players in the pit. They can strike at any moment. They dealt with it very well. I think Bialy made a good decision not pushing out on the balcony. I was questioning whether or not they just wanted to clear pit, but the idea, get the site, get the bomb down and force the CTs to make the move was the better decision after all.
That man is cheering for both teams. He had a Virtus.Pro hat and a TyLoo shirt.
You can be fans of lots of things in life.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, listen, I just wanted to make it dramatic.
Well, you can never lose if you cheer for both teams.
That's true.
That's why I only cheer for good Counter-Strike. Or entertaining Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I was going to say, today we've had one, not the other, in some regards. There's been moments of brilliance individually, that's for certain. Somebody already pushed down in Banana has a bait potential in the fact that Bintet wants to cast the reel. Pasha making some noise. Somebody could swing on this. Smoke down, he won't go yet. Don't go.
I want him to do it so bad.
I don't mind him getting close to the smoke. This is actually fun. I actually just, by body language, thought he was going to go straight through it.
That would have made me happy.
It would have, except for that Bintet had already left and there was no flash.
That would have made me even happier.
Okay. Sadistic Chad.
I love a good risk.
Somebody backed off this time, as we previously mentioned, didn't have Bintet still around. Didn't have the bait potential. He'll get to the sandbags. Bait potential returns in the fact that his teammate is now towards CT. Needs to go make contact, can't do it. Mihu gets the kill. Again, comes at a cost, but no trade. As of yet, they almost line it up. Neo thankfully got the kill because now Pasha's on 5 HP. And he nearly went down as well. Excurate only with one. Great trade from Mihu. That's the man they have to get. DD, however, still making it very interesting. Unable to get the low HP, but Bialy again on the lurk. Is doing fantastic work. That was not meant to be rhyme, but it was. DD gets back inside of the site, has to tap as well, needs to pull them out, but they're going to say, he's going to hold this? Is he on it? No way! Oh, Neo had his timer in motion inside his head and stayed on top of it, but I was questioning it for a second.
Wow, the balls on DD. I know that was a situation where you're definitely up against it, but to just sit that defuse.
More so when it's at map point now for Virtus.Pro, you'd think he'd try and go for the kills, but yeah,
that's one way to do it, I guess, right? I think Bialy may have been given a new role. Yeah. He's doing a lot of lurking. He's doing a lot more lurking. I think, you know, normally he's more part of that entry pack. Now he's on the other side of the map.
The last 2 rounds, he's made great decisions, despite that in multiple times this game, he's made some poor ones.
Is that a Brazilian jersey?
I didn't see it. I was watching the
a Brazilian
money situation.
World Cup jersey.
Not bad.
Yeah. All right, VP 1 round away now from securing TyLoo's map pick, which we questioned on the analyst desk, and I definitely did assume they were going to go with Mirage. If you allow TyLoo to pick Mirage, they pick it almost every time. Maybe they're having flashbacks to last time these 2 teams went head-to-head. They did have a stand-in of AE, and they did lose the map, but the third will be Cache. Cache. Cache.
Cache. I was waiting for you to say it. I didn't want to say Cache off the start. I wanted you to bring it in with that.
I can just say it twice every time I say it.
Satisfy everyone?
Yeah, keep everyone happy.
I saw a good quote the other day. If you try to keep everyone happy, you'll soon realize it's impossible. And I forget when. It was something along the lines of like lose yourself doing it. And then when you try and find yourself again, everyone else will have been gone. I'll try and find it. It was really well, eloquently written. Yeah, I think it's if you try and please others, you won't. You won't please yourself, and then in trying to then find your
I get the sentiment.
Yeah, exactly.
I get the sentiment.
Yeah. That nearly worked out for Pasha, but a second too late as the player, as we saw, walked by. It's a clear Cubby.
I was going to say the fact that this buy here is actually plausible and could pay off is still a scary sign for VP. So the fact that they are crossing their T's and dotting their I's and being very slow about the situation is positive.
Smokes to isolate the pit. DD's aware of it, goes to the only gap that it has. Now that does leave him in the open for a flashbang to catch him off. Captain Mo on a Deagle, I'm not going to discard. He's been actually exactly that. Dead accurate with it. Nearly gets another chance. Nearly found Neo. Just slightly high and wide of the market. It's Morals to find Excurate. This could be game Virtus.Pro. Stealing back TyLoo's map just as they were gifted Train. As you say, we go to Cache if that's the case. They have to go for this. No other option. They'll pick up an AK-47 on somebody. Bintet as well, just on the UMP. No kits on either of them. And a great setup with Morals deep inside of the pit. Pasha as well in the AWP. Flashed off. Well struck on the flash. But Neo in close is able to swing out. Pretty much done at this point, isn't it? Somebody will make every bit of effort that he has available to him.
What's he doing? He's just stat padding at this point. The round's over, bro. You got to go for it.
Might as well just run and gun. Gets tagged. He is absolutely stat padding. So it is over. He'll just not even give them the kill. Why not? Let it go to the bomb? Sure. Well, 16-9 Virtus.Pro at Pullback map 2. We've got a tied series, and we are heading the distance.
Well, 1-1. Cash is coming up. We'll be back with the analysts after a quick ad break.